Hey guys, it is Arika Misha. Thank you guys so much for clicking on today's video. And as you guys can tell by the title of today's video, I could not wait to come and do this video. I could not wait. So let me just get into it. You guys see the title of today's video, looking down at my notes. To the faithful ones. To the faithful ones. To the faithful ones. This is what God was talking to me about. To the faithful ones. He wanted me to come and talk about it today, and I'm sharing. I'm here to share what God speaks to me about. I'm just here sharing my spiritual journey, and I pray that it may help someone. I'm here for God's purpose only, and that's all I got. So I just come here on my platform. I love sharing my spiritual journey. I love sharing the things that I've been through, things that I'm going through, because you know what? You never know how what you're going through can help someone. You never know. You never know. So let me look at my notes. And the title of today's video, To the Faithful Ones. And God led me to the book of Job. We all know the book of Job. Job went through. Job lost it all. And he stayed faithful to the faithful ones. To the faithful ones. God was ministering to me. And God said, to the faithful ones. He wanted me to come and talk to you, to the faithful ones. And I thank God for being one of the faithful ones. Now, I ain't always been faithful. Let's just be real. I ain't always been faithful to God. God has always been faithful. You know God, he'll always be faithful to us. It be us who don't be faithful to God. But anyway, to the faithful ones. God wanted me to come and talk to the faithful ones. To those of you who have stayed faithful. Let me read my notes. I got to read this. Unwavering obedience, humility, diligence in doing God's will. That's what God had me write down. Unwavering obedience, humility, diligence in doing God's will. Hey, now I know we ain't all going to start out that way. Because I didn't start out that way. You know how they say baby steps? Yeah. Mine's is a little work. Okay, your baby steps. Yeah. I was going to say mine's is a little smaller than baby steps. Ant steps, whatever, bug steps. But anyway, y'all. So yes, this is what God wanted me to come and talk about today. God said, to the faithful ones. God was ministering to me. And God was saying, speaking to me about, being faithful. God was saying you've been through a lot. God saying through it all you stayed faithful, even though it wasn't easy. And God, it sure wasn't easy. He knew. God knew. And God said to me, he said, I know it hasn't been easy being faithful. I know it hasn't been easy. Everything that you're going through, trusting and believing that I'm going to make a way out of no way. God said, I know it hasn't been easy. God said, I saw you. God said, I heard you. I heard your thoughts. He said, well, you wanted to just give up. Well, you felt like giving up, but you didn't. And I said, God, no, God, I couldn't give up. I said, God, I can't give up. I can't give up. I can never give up. I can never live without Christ. I said, God, I can never live without you. Never. Like, I love God so much and I depend on God so much that I cannot live without him. And God said, to the faithful ones, because of your faithfulness, God said he wanted me to come and talk to the faithful ones, to those of you who are going through, and life is up one minute, down the next. That's just how life is. God said, but those of you who are staying faithful, staying in your word, doing what I have called you to do. And that was the main thing God was talking to me about. God said, it hasn't been easy. God said, I know it hasn't been easy. I know. God said, I know it ain't been easy answering the call. Make sure y'all go check that video out. God said, I know it has not been easy answering the call. He said, I know it's not easy answering the call. He said, but because you did, because of your obedience, God said, because of your obedience, because you have answered the call, because you have been faithful, doing what God has called you to do. Because I'm telling you, doing what God has called you to do ain't easy. It ain't easy. There has been days where I have felt like just walking away. Just walking away. There have been mornings I have woken up and I say, God, I can't do it. I can't do it another day. Because you know what? It's going to be stuff out of your comfort zone. It's going to be stuff that you're not used to doing. Stuff that you don't want to do. Not all of it. Not all of it. I ain't going to say that. But God was saying to me, because of my faithfulness, and God wanted me to come and speak to his faithful ones. To the faithful ones. God said he is going to pour out a blessing. God said it is blessing season for the faithful ones. God said it is prospering season for the faithful ones. God said it is growing season for the faithful ones. And let's not get all caught up in the blessings. God said, I'm going to need you to also be spiritually growing, faithful ones. It's more to it than, we just can't take the benefits of God, the benefits of Christ, and think we just going to get the benefits and don't do what God called us to do. We can't get the benefits being disobedient. I had to learn that. Definitely had to learn that. But God said to me, tell them, to the faithful ones, the ones that felt like giving up. He said, to the faithful ones. I'm telling you, God said he is about to pour out a blessing to the faithful ones. Where things have been hard, times have been hard, it's been rough, and you felt like giving up. God said, to the faithful ones. Because of your faithfulness, because of your commitment, because of your obedience, because of your sacrifice, because of your not selfishness, being selfless, and you're not being all about yourself. God said he is about to bless. And I said, God, I thank you. I did. I said, God, I thank you. I said, God, it has been rough. It has been rough. If you guys have been following my spiritual journey, you guys know it has been a rough journey for me. It has been a rough journey. But through it all, God has been with me. God has been with me, and I stayed faithful even when there were times where I wasn't feeling it. I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. At times where I felt like giving up, I stayed faithful because of God's strength. It wasn't my strength, because if it was up to me, I would have walked away a long time ago. Long time ago. But because of God, his grace and his love and the strength that he gave me to continue to keep going. But God said to the faithful ones, he is about to pour out a blessing. I get so excited when God was telling me, ears haven't heard, eyes haven't seen. God said it's going to be a blessing. It's going to be a blessing. And I will be back to testify. I sure will. I'll be back to testify. Y'all know I'm coming back to testify. Now, hey, remember I tell y'all, we ain't got the same clock as God. God ain't tell me when now. God ain't give me no date and time. I ain't even finna tell that. God said, I'm going to pour you out a blessing because of your faithfulness to the faithful ones. That's what God wanted me to come and share, guys. I am excited. I was excited for that word because I was just really at a really low point, really going through when God brought me that word. And that word gave me strength. That word lifted me up to the faithful ones. That's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. To the faithful ones. To us faithful ones. This is Arika Misha. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to go in the description box. Click on that link to my second channel, guys. Over there, I'm doing hair, makeup, nails, DIYs. I'm doing grocery hauls, shopping, makeup deals, all kind of stuff. It's just my life. I just love sharing it. And I pray that it may help someone just like I share over here. And I pray that it helps someone. I hope that my spiritual journey helps someone in any capacity because I'm here for God's purpose only. Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless.